Hey everyone, thank you for joining me for chair yoga. I'm going to begin at the chair because it's a little awkward here in the fact that I don't have a way to really stay close to the screen and begin us, but to get us started. So get your block between your legs and come forward on the chair as we typically do. And I'll get us started with just a few words of intention, I guess, before we launch into our movement and such. So the block is between the legs. We've got ourselves a forward part of the chair so we'll have that flexibility of movement. One of my teachers that I tune into quite regularly brought up the fact that the month of January, the name for the month of January came from, I actually am going to rely on my trusty information from the phone here so I don't follow this up because I thought it was quite special. January gets its name from Janus, Janus. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but Janus or Janus, the Roman god of beginnings, transitions, doors, and endings. The statue or the image of that Roman god is a two-headed. That this individual has the ability to look both forward and back. Both into the future and into the past at the same time. So perfect. You can certainly understand why the January, being the first month of the year, gets that name. And it's perfect for our own sort of intention as we begin a new year to know that there's a forward looking about it. There is this idea of setting goals and looking forward to a new beginning. And there's also, though, tending to the back, looking back to the past as well, so that we can be right with that. We feel right with. We've kind of come to terms, particularly potent in my life. Right now with the loss of my mother, I definitely feel like I'm at that juncture of both, looking forward into this new world without my mother and remembering the past and all of that. So just wanted to bring that up. I thought it was an interesting bit of tidbit of knowledge, about the month. So as we do our official transitioning, I would like you to have your eyes closed. Close your eyes, of course, that gives us a better vision of the inside, gives us opportunity to tune into the internal experience of ourselves instead of just what's happening on the external point of view. Use your best posture. Sit in a way that feels good and strong to you, that you're lifting up your rib cage and you're letting your shoulder blades pull back. Because what happens too often with our postural habits is that those shoulder blades sort of round and they're pulling forward to the front body, and you want to pull them back. The shoulder blades should fully be facing the back part of your body. So you're pulling that back with a little more intention maybe today than usual. Let's deepen the breath as we feel it moving up and down the spine. I like that notion of like you're trying to fill up your pelvis as you inhale, and let that inhale come all the way up, blossom as it moves up the spine to the crown of the head. And then the exhale turns right around and drops down through the pathway of the spine back into the pelvis, the pelvic bowl. So see if you can find that point-to-point reference as you move your breath up and down the spine. It's through the central channel, the language of yoga, Sushumna Nadi. It's a central energy channel that we follow. So it not only moves the breath, just FYI, as you're finding your way into this breath awareness, it's also stirring up the energy that the life force energy, the prana, that is often pooled in the pelvic bowl. So we want to bring it up into the body for our use. We're really trying to breathe in a way that helps us to align with that life force energy as well. Soften your mouth, relax your tongue. There's no use wasting that sort of energy where we bear down somewhere. Let's soften that up. A few more breaths up and down through the spine. And then stay with me for another breath practice as we bring ourselves into the box breath. So that just evens out the breath. The inhale takes a count of 4. We wait for a count of 4 before we exhale, same count of 4, wait again for inhale. That's the square or the box that we create with the breath. So inhale, you count it. So you're mentally, literally counting numbers. You pause. So you've created an equal space in between the inhale and the exhale. It's a very different breath, very calming for the nervous system, very regulating for the nervous system to use this box breath. It's used on all levels. It's not just something limited to people that do yoga. Just a few more of those, just allowing yourself to be kind of really feel the steadiness of that, the balance that that offers. And the counting is very useful because your mind has something to do. We want to clean the slate of the thinking mind for a little bit. We want to get rid of some of the well-worn, stories we tell and things that we fuss with for this yoga practice so that we can rest the mind and just really tune into the experience of the body. And these counting techniques are a good way to do that. It gives that thinking mind something to hold on to. So let the breath be as the breath is now, and flip your hands so your palms are facing open. Use those open palms as a gesture of receiving. Note for yourself that you're here to receive, and what is that for you today? What is it you came to yoga for today? What do you need? Remember, this is all about you. It's personal. It's entirely personal. What does your mind body need today? As we set that intention. And sometimes I like, again, another teacher I follow, same teacher actually, she likes to use just one word. She encourages it, see if you can land on just something. And mine, for a long time, my intention has been trust. That's what I come to practice an embodiment practice like this so I can develop greater trust. Beautiful. Let's flutter the eyes open now. Get used to the light. And let's begin a little bit of movement. Let's start with some shoulder rolls. Let your hands be wherever you want them. Hands on your lap will be a little less work for your shoulders. If you want to get right into a little more, employing a little more body efforting, you get your arms alongside your body, and that's just a little bit more work. So you decide rolling those shoulders forward, up, back, and down. This is the movement we typically start with. Try to make sure you're not leaning forward, that you're holding yourself in a way. I like that image of the wall we're trying to lean back into. So the back of the head stays in line with the spine as we move those shoulder blades so they're not so sticky. Let's change the direction of that. Change the direction of the way you're rolling your shoulders. And let the head now move any way that just it naturally does. You start rolling your shoulders, and maybe your chin drops, or you turn your head a little bit as you roll those shoulders forward. Let that happen. We're going to do one shoulder at a time, but we're still in the same movement. And I say, let's get the whole arm to move. And as we do it, we're going to turn the head intentionally to look toward the direction of the arm that's in motion, like a swimming stroke. But try not to dive forward. Keep your spine very upright, very vertical. So sit up tall as you just let the arms do the swimming strokes. Can you smooth out your breath? Can you notice it now so there's a rhythm to your breath? And you might be breathing out of your mouth quite a bit. That's all fine. You're just noticing it. You're not trying to change anything except for that, you're fully aware of it, I guess. Last stroke. Let's get both arms up in the air. Palms will come together. Look up if you can, if it feels good. And exhale as you bring those hands at your heart. Inhale back up. Exhale, take a big stroke, like another backstroke, another swimming stroke, all the way down. Let's do 2 more of those. Inhaling up, all the way back. Get really far back there with your arms. And last time, inhales up. Exhale, this time, let's bend those elbows into that little shape like a W so it really draws the shoulder blades together. Inhale up. Exhale, it's like a back bend. You can feel that. I'm going to turn, you don't have to do anything different. And then open the heart so you can really open up your chest. Let the shoulder blades draw toward each other. Inhales up. Exhale is opening the heart. Inhale up. Exhale, when we bend those elbows, let's just hold them in that position of the goddess. So we've got our elbows just out at the height of our armpits, perhaps. And let's really stretch our hands open. So very intentional that your hands are really active with spread open, stretching through the palm. Inhale looks like that. Exhale brings everything together. So it looks like that. I often call this opening and closing. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. And if you're interested in continuing to work those shoulder blades, you just do it. You know, this is a perfect opportunity to maybe pull back, and bring it forward. So there's lots of movement in the shoulder blades here if you invite it. Real strong hands so that you just feel really energized in your arms. Try to exhale completely. This is one that really is hard because you want to just kind of get back to the other thing. So try to time it so that you're letting yourself exhale completely. That's it. All right, when we open, we're going to drop those fingertips down and we've got the elbows bent and it's that scarecrow position. So kind of make peace with that. It's awkward. See if you can get your head to come up and you still feel like maybe you could find that back wall, even with your arms in such a funky thing. And then inhale up and down, exhaling down. Inhaling up and exhale that down. Push your feet to the floor, squeeze that block so the lower part of your body knows that it's helping out too, that you got this firm and steady base to help you with this, or foundation maybe. Let's back into that. We come back up here. Let's go open, inhale and close. Open it up, inhaling and close. A couple more. Inhale up, exhale, open the heart. Inhale up, open the heart. Keep going. Flip those hands all the way down. Go really, very slow with this. This is a really good way to feel release and letting go in the body. I love that. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Good. Let's get your block and put it on its high side and bring it next to you near your chair. So you might have to play with how close it can be. I want you to be able to press your palm, press the butt of your hand into that, and you're still, feeling like you're very connected to the chair. So you don't want to be too far out. So turn your head so it feels like your ear wants to hear what's going on down there. So you've just turned your head. Take that other arm and wrap it around behind you. That will pull that shoulder back. So you got to imagine there's a block between your legs because we still want to hold on to that foundation, the support that provides. So push your feet to the floor. Feel really solid in your pelvis, that you haven't leaned over towards your left, that you're trying to balance through the pelvis, right to left, left to right. Feels balanced as best as you can. Now lighten the load with your hand on that block. I know if you're like me, you started by just leaning into it. Lighten the load so that you're touching it, but it's not so significant because you've just decided you're going to let your rib cage take over now to lift you up, hold you here just fine. You don't need to lean. And then that arm from behind can reach up. Let's put a mitten hand on that hand. Push your feet to the floor. Now find the drishti. How are you going to hold your head? Everybody's different because your neck is going to really help you figure it out. To look down at the block might be a choice. Maybe you're just kind of neutral, holding your head in the middle. Maybe you can turn and look toward the ceiling or toward your hand that's extended. Find what feels powerful for you, feels just right. Keep pushing your feet to the floor. And now don't forget, we want to find a full breath going in and a full breath going out. And we're not putting a whole lot of pressure on that block. We've lightened the load. That's it. Grab hold of the block, bring it up. Take a little break here in the middle and just bend your elbows and let the block come behind you. So you're feeling that length of your spine. You're very upright. You're balanced in your pelvis. And there's just this rhythm of movement. We're going to set up for the other side now. So you got to, again, figure out how close to the chair does it need to be. You want it to be in line with it. Don't get too far forward. You want it to be in line with where your shoulder naturally is, of course. And then you're going to wrap that arm behind you. And we start by making, putting the whole hand on there. I got my palm into the chair, into the block, turning my head. So I want to listen over there. But then we start to lighten the load. We get it that we don't have to press that hand into the block. We could let our chest and our shoulder carriage lift us up, and we can spring that back hand free, put its mitten hand on. So it feels kind of like your arms are straight and right up and down from each other, sort of. They just feels just right. Feels kind of right. And you're going to find your own drishti, how to turn your head here. Might be different on this side as you drop back into the fullness of your breath, in and out. Allow yourself to breathe out of the mouth. Allow yourself to be noisy with your breath. Whatever your body needs to do to stay strongly connected to the experience of breathing. Balancing in your pelvis. Good. Grab hold of the block. We've got it up again. Take a pause. Let's a little tick-tock side to side. Hey, I know what I think it'd be better. We took a little wider stance. Heels in, toes out. So a little wider stance. For sure, that's going to be better. Yep. So we go straight arms, right past the ears. See if you can find a rhythm of your breath with this. My exhale seems to be as I drop to the side. I'm exhaling there. I'm inhale center, just showing you what I'm doing. But you're finding your way into your rhythm. A couple more now. Stay with it. Managing the weight of your head. Pay attention to how you're letting your ear kind of drop toward one arm and that kind of thing. Good. And all the way around and down. Let's tuck that block underneath the chair or out of the way for a little bit. Hands are on the thighs. Let's circle around, but I want you to start by moving the pelvis. You're going to just get the pelvis to move around like you're doing a hula hoop. You're getting that loosened up. It gets sticky around here. Don't tell me it isn't. It gets sticky. So you got to loosen that up first. Very much efforting and just moving the pelvis in a circular way. Now change the direction of that. That'll help loosen it up even more. Change the direction of that hula hoop movement of the pelvis. And now take that action into the whole body. So now you can feel that the upper body gets to move in a circular fashion, but it's driven by the movement of the pelvis. Now notice your breath. Notice your weight shifting as you circle around. There's just this slight awareness of going from one side of the body to the other. Let's change that direction so we could become aware of it now that we've shifted. And very mindful that the pelvis is doing this. It's not your shoulder carriage. You're not letting your upper body spin you around. You want this driven by the pelvis. Excellent. Let's come back to a neutral position and just have a light touch with our fingertips to the shoulders. Let's do a little open and close here, just bringing those elbows together. Matter of fact, if touching the shoulders is kind of cranky for your wrists or your hands don't like it, you could just, hold them in any way, any different way. Maybe there's a soft fist that you make. instead of touching. So don't hesitate to make a little change there. Push your feet to the floor. See if you can get a little more awareness that you're really trying to be solid and sturdy in the lower body. Now, one elbow at a time, I'm going to draw some circles. Keep yourself upright and just draw circles. Go one way for a few. Keep breathing, and then we'll change the direction of that movement. Let's switch to the other side. So you just make some circles. Try to keep your spine long and your head is kind of staying put. Change the direction of that circular movement on this side. Let's open it wide open, big wide open. Inhale, exhale, close. And when we close, we're going to round the back body. So inhale, open, round through the back body as you close it up. Very expansive. Make a real effort to pull the belly in. When you're rounding, you want to pull it in. That's it. Pull the belly in. So it's like it's going to squeeze out all that breath, completely emptying it out. One more of those. Let your hands land on your lap now, and let's find a diagonal line of the body. Again, I'm squirming around, but you don't need to do anything different. So you're going to just bring your chest forward a little bit. Keep your head in line with your spine, and make a commitment that you're not going to let that head drop. You're going to keep it in line with the spine. The chest comes forward. And I want you to just do some pulsing with that. So you're training yourself to keep that head in line with the spine, and that the movement comes from the chest bone, let's say. Let's say that it's right there in the center of your chest that pulls you forward and lets you pull back or push back. Go as deeply into that as feels right to you. So maybe you can go way down, deep with that fold. Relax your mouth now. Don't grit your teeth. Now meet me halfway. Let's go halfway now. Squeeze your elbows in towards your waist. Push your feet to the ground. Take an inhale just for the fuel. Inhale to get the breath. And when you exhale, start lifting yourself up off the chair. So you're engaging those inner thighs. You're engaging that pelvic floor. It feels like you're trying to lift up on the exhalation process. So inhale, fuel your body. Exhale, start to squeeze. That's for me is the action. It's almost like it's drawing in very strongly. And then I can lift up at the very tail end of that whole experience. That's when the lift comes. So stay with it just stay with it for a while. We need to really work that perineum. So concentrate. Don't pay attention to anybody else in your space. You want to be really focused on what's going on through your body. And even if it feels like it's so insignificant, how can this be worthwhile? I promise you, it is toning your pelvic floor and supporting your pelvic organs. I promise you. So it's worth our effort. That's it. Let's do two more. Excellent. Now bring yourself upright. Not very far to go. All of a sudden you're back and back into the wall behind you. You're bringing yourself up into that space. Now just something different. I want you to just come down so you can touch the floor. Just bring yourself over so your fingertips can come over to the side and touch the floor. And if you find there's no way, Julie, I cannot touch the floor, that's when your trusty block could come in handy. Yeah, I'll bet you can touch the block. So if that's true for you, you can't touch the floor, that's okay. We got a solution. Stay on one side at a time so you can reach down there and touch that block. And then you'll switch to the other side. For those of you who can access that, you're switching every time. You're going to switch every time and touch the floor. And then as we start warming up into this folding, that all of a sudden you start stretching and it's not that hard at all. You kind of think this is not a problem. Then try to get a little lower, so more of your fingers instead of just the fingertips, that you're getting a little lower. Maybe some of you can touch the palm of your hand to the floor. Stay with it. Keep breathing. Keep awareness of the breath, awareness of the sensation in your body. Just to do this. How's that feel? Where do you feel it? One more touch on each side. One more touch, each side. And come back to neutral. Now, we did a lot of up and down. So those were inversions each and every time. So let's wait. Let's let that adjustment starts to happen in the body for those inversions. Let's get a hold of the underside of the thighs and lift up. Again, it's real tempting to really lean back with this. I'm just asking you to give yourself the challenge of not doing that so much. See if you can get your belly wall to do the lifting. You know, when you bring yourself back, you've allowed the rest of your core strength to kind of come on board. We want that belly wall, that low, deep belly wall to do the work if we can guide that, keeping yourself upright. Let's try it. The hands under the thighs is one method, and you can keep doing that if you choose, or look, mom, no hands, so you don't have contact with your legs at all. You're just lifting them up. Next time you got your right leg up in the air, hold it, and lift it up. And then see if you can get it over to cross over. Just keep that foot where it was, the foot that's on the floor, just keep it so you're a little bit off center. Squeeze those legs together, lift up so you feel very long and strong with your spine. Let's take those arms up and find a twist. We're bringing ourselves around so our arms have gone the other direction of our legs. Now think about this. This is a new way of looking at it, perhaps, where your belly button is. See if you can feel like you're trying to turn your upper body so your belly button is no longer facing forward. It's trying to go over here. It's trying to go over here. So you're trying to turn, twist at the waist so that you've moved the direction a little bit of the way your belly button is facing. Let's deepen the breath so we can really notice what's going on in our body. Where do we feel this? Exhale completely every time. Let's unwind the head. Keep breathing, and then the shoulders and the arms. We'll get both feet to the floor. Take a little pause. We're going to go back to lifting. All right, left leg now. Up in the air. Up. Holding or not holding. And it's going to cross over. So just make sure you feel really supported by your chair. Legs and knees are going one way. Upper body is going to go over here. You can use the chair, use your body parts to hold you in here. Start to notice, we did quite a lot of movement with the shoulder blades. That always helps a twist. When you've loosened up those shoulder blades, it gives you a lot more access. I'll bet you've noticed that. Remember the belly button reference. See if you can isolate the movement so it seems pretty specific that you're trying to let your waist twist and turn so your belly button is facing a new direction. We got to deepen the breath, though, so the body can really get a hold of this. The breath is what drives all this home. When we can breathe into it, get back to a rhythm of breath in a new shape, a new creation that we've shaped our body in, that's when the muscles really adhere to that movement and they get stronger and more flexible. Same with the joints. Let's unwind the head. Keep breathing. Then the shoulders and the arms. And we'll get both feet to the floor. I want you to circle that out, but remember, we're going to use the pelvis. Pardon me, I got to figure out what time it is. Okay. Circling it out, get the upper body to go with it, but the driving force is the movement of the pelvis. We're going to change the direction of that. Inhale with me, palms together overhead. Exhale, bow at your heart. Inhale up. When we exhale, we're going to take a forward fold. So I want you to come all the way down in that space between your legs. Let your shoulders come between your legs. You might have to move your feet, move your legs a little bit. Look down and underneath the chair, down and underneath you. You want the crown of the head, the very top of your head, to be reaching toward the ground. It's not your face that's reaching toward the ground. It's the very top of your head. I've always encouraged you to keep your eyes open here. I think it gives you a better sense of bearings, that you kind of know where you are. You don't lose your way. Deepen the breath so you can feel your belly moving. We need that now. Belly breaths, big belly breaths. You're making the belly move on purpose so you can feel, because what's happening is you're massaging all those internal organs. Good, good, good. One hand at a time is going to jump to your thighs, squeeze your elbows into your waist, come up nice and easy, all the way up to an upright position. Let's wait. We were in an inversion. We're going to wait. Catch up with our breath. Smooth it out. My favorite way to go to standing, you know this, is by tilting back and letting your feet come off the floor, and then your bottom comes up off the chair. I want you to practice that a few times, where you lift yourself up off, your feet come up, bottom comes up. When we finally stand, we are going to need the block. So when we come to standing, let's put that block in its lengthwise position right between your lower legs, between your shins, if you will. Straighten out your feet. Make sure they're straight. Let's get strong with the belly wall. Pull in, pull in. We do want a little micro bend of the knee. So give yourself permission to soften up the knees so they're not locked by any means. Palms face forward. Now find that imaginary wall. Get your head back there so you can feel how erect you are, how aligned your body is with the spine. That's right alignment. Deepen the breath. Now get curious about how this feels all over. How do your ankles feel? Can you feel the strength of your ankles? It's there. You have strong ankles. You're putting your body weight into it and trusting that. I want you to feel your way into the strength of your ankles. And then feel your way into the strength of your belly wall, that belly button region. If you can, I think it's pretty accessible in the standing position. Activate the Mula Bandha. That's that whole process that we do when we're toning the pelvic floor. Activate the Mula Bandha by coming up into the inner thighs, the inner seams of your thighs, right up into the floor of the pelvis, and drive that right back into your belly button. That awareness, that squeezing action. See if you can find the Mula Bandha like that. There's another bandha. I don't want us to get too complicated that we're also employing, but here we are. We're strengthening and using the deepest version of core strength ever. Beautiful. Inhale up, palms will be together overhead. Exhale, we're going to bow at the heart. Inhale up. And exhale, come all the way down and around. Let's do it again. Inhaling up. Exhaling way back and around. Last thing. Up, down, and around. Good. All right. Let's use I'm going to put the block to the side. And let's use the chair to support some movement of the legs. So I'm just going to stand next to my chair. I got the back of the chair, and the leg that's near the chair, standing leg, that's exactly what it's going to do while we get this leg in motion. So try to stay within the frame of your body. You know, you're not just letting that leg kick out any old place. You're very specific. You're controlling that leg as it moves forward and back. This is just nice movement through the hip socket. And try not to rock and roll. You know, we might have a tendency to let our whole upper body carry that leg. Try not to do that. Try to isolate the movement in your legs. Your leg gets stronger because of that. Keep going. A couple more maybe. We're going to meet with a bent knee. Now, you stay just like you are. I'm just giving you a different point of view. That bent knee kind of was what pulled back, right? You had a straight leg forward and it's sort of a bent knee. Can you bend it anymore? Can you find it with your hand? Can you somehow find your foot with your hand? Sometimes you could just grab your pant leg and hold that. See what you can do for a quad stretch. That's what I'm getting at. we get a hold of our foot, we have our bent knee, and we're pulling back and stretching through the quadricep. Your body's probably doing lots of talking to you, so pay attention to the sensation and govern yourself according to that. Deepen the breath. You know what I like about this? It also opens up the chest. Yep, right through here, you can feel that you have to stretch to get a hold of your foot. Let's get both feet to the floor, shake it out. Really, literally, shake your body. I like to kind of glue my feet to the floor and let the upper body go to town. I'm going to move the chair. So my standing leg is now moved. It's over here, and I still have the support of the chair if I need it. And we're going to do the same kind of movement. Forward and back. No rock and roll with the upper body. Kind of a straight leg forward. Bent knee comes back. When you're trying to work within the frame of your body. Notice your breath. Let's meet with a bent knee. So we're going to bend that knee, get a hold of it. It's not pretty, but we can get it. And then straighten yourself up. I didn't mention it the first go around, but let's talk about it this time. You pull your foot or your heel in towards your buttocks. That's one version of the stretch. It's going to really stretch the muscles that attach to your knee. If you pull your foot away from your buttocks, you're trying to pull it back, then that's going to stretch the psoas muscle and what they call the hip flexor. So you're going to be in a little higher part of the quadricep region. Can you find good posture here? See what you can do. Spiff up your posture right now. One more good breath. You're doing great. Get both feet to the floor. We're going to shake that out. Catch up with your breath. If you've got your chair position such, you can use it now for that L-shaped stretch. So you can bring your hands to that chair's back and stretch it out. Make sure your feet are straight and they're parallel to one another. And maybe initially your knees are bent quite a bit. You're trying to get into it, but start to straighten them. Start to work on that. You've been practicing a long time. You can straighten, just start to work on that, where you're just efforting a little bit more to straighten and stretch those hamstrings and stretch those calves and right down into the Achilles tendon. Make sure your toes feel connected to the ground, very connected through the whole sole of your feet, including your toes, as you stretch. Ideally, arms are right alongside your ears. You can kind of feel them right there gliding past your ears. Let's deepen the breath, a very hearty, deeper breath. And let's start walking toward the chair. Right foot forward, left foot steps back. And when we step that left foot back, we're turning the toes away. They're not turning toward the chair, they're turning away. But you want to have a line between that front heel, the heel that's near the chair, and the back heel. Kind of tuck your tail a little bit. We can come into this pose and kind of be really pushing our pelvis back, but we don't want that here. This is warrior two. We want to have some alignment that tucks the tail a little bit. I'm going to encourage you to bring your hands right to the buttocks, tuck it a little. Just feel yourself kind of pulling your pelvis, pushing your pelvis forward a little bit. Can you balance your body's weight into both legs? Be mindful of that. You're trying to lighten the load so that both legs are holding you up. Ready, set, go. Let's extend those arms. Let's start with palms down. Pull the belly in nice and strong. And then flip your palms facing up. What a difference. That rolls the shoulders back. Feel both feet making a real imprint on your floor. That back arm, the straight leg, that arm is going to drop to your thigh. The other one's going to reach to the sky. Let's deepen the breath here. . Back to our warrior, palms up. And then let the hands come down. And I want you to see if you can heel toe yourself back together. It takes just a minute. Just heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. There, you got it. Back to center. Let's shake that all out. I'm going to move so I've got the chair just kind of in case I need the support. As a matter of fact, let's do the same thing over again. I just moved the chair to the other side. There's a reason for that, because we want to do the whole thing for the body, the same, series of poses. So let's stretch it out into our L-shaped stretch. You're probably exactly the same. I'm the only one that has to do it different because I want you to see me. Let's deepen the breath. Really stretch the calves as well as the hamstrings. Your awareness to that will make a big difference. Tuck your chin in towards your throat. Make that adjustment. Chin should be tucking into your throat. We're going to start walking toward the chair. Left foot forward, right foot back, lining up your heels. So the back foot, the toes are pointing out, not toward the chair. And we bend into that front leg, or the one that's near the chair. I want you to get your hands available to scoot your pelvis forward. This, by the way, is as wide a straddle as your body can comfortably manage. Truly. So if you feel strong, if yours is much shorter than mine, I'm trusting that's because that's what feels safest for you. If you've got some options, know that a wider stance can be very powerful. Let's start now. Here we go. Extend the arms to start with palms facing down. Pull in the belly wall. Feel both feet. You want to be sure you spread the body weight to both legs. Flip your hands so palms are up. I'm really scooping my tail. I'm really trying to bring that pelvis into alignment with the shoulders. Scooping my tail does that. All right, that straight leg, that side, that's reaching down toward your arms, reaching there. Other one's reaching toward the sky. Look up if it feels comfortable. Full breath in and out. Mindfully come back down, palms face up. We're back to the warrior one. That other one was called the reverse warrior. And the arms come down. Let's try it again. Can you do your little heel toe, heel toe, heel toe? And we'll shake that out. All right, I need you to be near your chair with the seat of the chair available to you. Let's take left foot forward, right foot back. But this time, as much as you're able, both feet are pointing toward the chair. So it's not perfect on that back foot, but you're making that effort. So your hip headlights are shining there. This is a straight-legged position. Both are straight. This is the pyramid position. So start with your hands on the chair seat. So if you found that you didn't know where you were supposed to be in relation to the chair, now you know. You want to have your hands on that chair seat. So your front foot is kind of tucked under the chair just a bit. So you feel like you've kind of created a tabletop back. Now this could feel like a great stretch and you want to just stay here. What I want you to do is pull your pelvis back into alignment, because the pelvis is naturally pulling forward on the left side because that's the foot that's forward. So see if you can align your pelvis like it's like you're trying to turn it so it's evened out again. And you keep that flat back. So this could be the stretch you're going to work on. But there's variations. You could lower your forearms to that chair seat and get a little deeper. You could actually keep your hands on the chair seat and just simply bend your elbows so you can feel how your head is coming toward the chair seat. So that's ways that you can change the intensity of this. Deepen your breath, stay with it. Try to feel the whole breath moving through your body as you start playing with how deeply you can fold your upper body toward that front leg or toward the chair. Good. Now, stay with your hands on the chair. Lift your head back up. We're going to bend into that front knee. So that front leg that was straight, we're going to bend into it on purpose. And the straight leg, that side of your body, that arm, that hand is going to stay on the chair. And the other one is going to wrap around behind you, right to the sacrum. You're going to touch the back. And as you do that, I want you to straighten that leg again, straighten that front leg. So you've come into this position now, still straight legs, but now one hand's here and you're twisting. You can start turning so your head is turning, looking away, or your ear is facing that hand on the chair. And that's a great pose, but an even more challenging one, if that's what you're shooting for, is to raise that arm up. This is called reverse triangle, which I find to be a really challenging pose, but I think we're up for it. Let's come out of it. Go piece by piece, bringing yourself back into a neutral position. Let's get our feet back together. I want you to hold on to the chair. Your feet are wide and your heels are in, toes out. Let's do a little squat. Get your butt back there. You want to get your body weight out of your knees. One more squat. Let's come all the way up. Take a pause now. Any adjustment your body needs, you know what to do. Drink of water. Side two, right foot is forward, left foot is back. Essentially, the feet are straight and both legs are straight. This is the pyramid pose. It's a real stretch. It's called powerful pose, so you can understand how much of a stretch it is. So either hands here and you're just keeping a flat back and you feel plenty of stretch as you try to even out your pelvis, like I told you, how we're just trying to right it so it's more in line the way it's supposed to be. Or you can bend into the elbows or bring your forearms to the chair as you deepen your breath, nice and steady, feeling the stretch. No gripping. If any part of you just feels like it's just clenching, you want to do something different. Loosen up. Get out of it. Now to turn this into the reverse triangle, we come back up. We're going to bend into that front knee for a bit. Bend into it. And now the back leg, you're matching up your back leg. That hand stays on the chair. The other one wraps around behind you. I touch the sacrum. So then I start to straighten that front leg. And you could reach up or keep your hand on your back. Let's deepen the breath. Nice job, everybody. One more breath. Now start to bend the knees and everything. Get your hands on the chair. Let's do down dog. So your hands are on your chair. You're going to step back. One last stretch here. Nice work, everyone. Just stretching into our down dog. Big stretch of the buttocks. Go slowly now as you bring yourself back to the chair. Let's go one vertebrae at a time. So go nice and easy with yourself. Your head stays low. Your chin is tucked for a long time till you're all the way up. Good. It's time for Shavasana. So it's time now for you to set yourself up in your home in a way that gives you lots of support, or if you're in the library group, you can just bring yourself now well into your chair. Maybe you're getting a cover, putting another layer of socks on, or however you need to do that to get the comfort you need for Shavasana. I'm very proud of myself because I'm right on time. I had to rely on the phone and I still was able to kind of pace it. So I'm kind of proud of that. All right, so let's begin with, this adjustment as a return to a personal experience, that you really feel yourself coming into this privacy and this intimacy of the meditation time. As we so often are trying to do and accomplish with our whole practice, the movement and the stretching, as well as the quieting and the meditating, is we're trying to quiet the mind and bring ourselves into a different state of being, a different way of operating. We operate, from our head and from our experiences outside of us. That's just the nature of us. But there's another way that we can experience our true nature, and that's a quieting and a drawing in. It's really important that we learn how to do it. So let the chair hold you. Be sure you're very comfortable and you're allowing that chair support so that you can rest. You can literally rest. It's not a version of resting. It's not a fake rest. You got to set it up in a way that you can truly allow yourself to be held in the space that you occupy. So you can just feel it. The energy of your body starts to just sort of, instead of kind of clenching and guarding, you're releasing and relaxing. You're allowing this relaxation and this quieting to occur. Eyes closed is just so important so that you can really feel our body rests better. Our body knows the cue when eyes are closed that it's time to rest. Listen for your breath. That's what I'm going to encourage you to do, is breathe in a way. It's kind of a throaty whisper sound of breath. They call that the ujjayi breath. See if you can breathe in that way, any way at all that you can hear your breath is going to work. Keep a real softness about your mouth and your facial muscles. So many of us hold a lot of tension around the eyes. So like the eyebrow line, can you bring yourself into the awareness that those muscles around your eyes are really softening now, softening and relaxing? Maybe bring to your awareness to the intention you set today. I start my own practice when I'm coming to teach. I say a prayer every time that says, may what needs to be said is said. May what needs to be heard is heard. May what needs to be released is released. And that what could be embraced is embraced today. So I offer that as a way for you to check in with yourself. What did you hear? What were you able to embrace? What were you able to release? Smooth out your breath. It just feels silky. And the quieting, or I should say the whisper sound is not necessary unless you like it, unless you prefer it. Let your breath be as your breath is. I'm looking for a poem that I want to read for you. Just find it in a way. There we go. It's by Rumi, and it's called The Guest House. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. She may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Feel the support of the chair or the surface beneath you, including the space around you. Broaden your awareness that you're somehow aware that there is space that surrounds your body. That you are breathing in from that space around you and out again into it. So it's clearly life-giving. Breathing in from the space around you and out again into it. Somehow aware of that space. Can you feel the ease in your body? The calm and the ease of your breath. Calm and ease. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth with the sound of a sigh, a big ah. Let's do a few of those kind of breaths. Big breath in and a sigh as it comes out. So it's very cleansing. Ah. It's a great letting go, isn't it? We need to come forward again on the chair, get your feet back to the floor and sit tall once again. You're no longer relying on back support. You're again relying on the strength of your body to hold yourself in right alignment. Take your hands and squeeze through your neck area, right where your shoulders and your neck come together. Squeeze that. Gently move your head around within that massaging that you're doing. So just offering some tender loving care to an area of the body that for very, very, many people holds a lot of stress and a lot of tension. So let's see what we can do to offer just a bit of relief, just a bit of tender loving care. All right, sitting up nice and tall. You feel the strength of what right alignment feels like in your body. Let's sync up our breath. Inhale, palms will be together overhead. Exhale, we bow with the heart. Inhale up. And when we exhale, we're going to share this loving, trusting energy with our community. Palms come back to the prayer position. We bow to ourselves and we bow to one another. Namaste, my friends. And thanks for joining me.